In 2019, you could buy a house in Frisco, Texas for $380,000. Today, the median home in Frisco is $674,000. In 7 years, that is nearly $300,000 more for the same house on the same street in the same suburb. That is not an outlier. That is a pattern, and it is happening right now in cities that most Americans still think of as cheap. Texas added 391,000 new residents last year. That is more than the entire population of New Orleans, arriving in a single year. Most of them landed in Austin, Dallas, and Houston, where the prices already exploded. But here is what nobody is tracking closely enough. The wave does not stop at the borders of the big metros. It spreads. The cities that were the affordable alternative, the places you moved to because Austin or Dallas got too expensive, are being swallowed, one by one. These are 10 Texas cities you can still afford today, but based on the growth data, price trends, and migration patterns, probably not for long. Some have 3 to 5 years, others have less than 2. The clock is running, and by the end of this video, you will know exactly which ones and exactly how much time the data says you have. Welcome to Inside Texas. Before we get to the list, you need to understand the machine that is driving this, because it is not just one thing. It is a chain reaction. In our first video, we showed you where not to go in Texas. In our second, we showed you where every dollar stretches the furthest. This video is the warning. Some of those affordable cities, and others across the state, are not going to stay affordable. The data shows exactly which ones, and the speed at which some of them are changing will surprise you. Here is how the dominoes fall. Austin gets expensive. Round Rock absorbs the overflow. Round Rock gets expensive. Georgetown absorbs it. Georgetown hits $450,000 at peak. The same pattern is playing out around Dallas, around Houston, around San Antonio. 6 of the 15 fastest growing cities in the entire United States are in Texas. DFW alone added 152,000 residents in a single year, the largest numerical population gain of any metro in the country. On top of that, homeowner insurance premiums in Texas jumped 21% between 2022 and 2023, according to the Texas Department of Insurance, with projections of another 8% per year through 2027. Property taxes average 1.8%, 6th highest in the nation. The median Texas homeowner is now paying about $1,400 a month beyond the mortgage for taxes, insurance, and maintenance, according to Texas Standard and the Texas Tribune. And the city at number 1 on our list? 5 years ago, it was a place most people outside of Texas had barely heard of. Today, it is one of the fastest growing cities in the country. And if you want to buy there at today's prices, the consensus among analysts is that you have less than 2 years. One important note: projections are not guarantees. Markets can slow down due to recession, policy shifts, or local factors. What we are showing you are trends based on 3 to 5 years of data and analyst projections. Trends are not certainties, but they are the best information available. And right now, they are all pointing in the same direction. Each city on this list gets an urgency classification. Monitor means the city is rising slowly. You likely have 3 to 5 years. Attention means it is rising at a moderate pace, 2 to 3 years. Urgent means the window is 1 to 2 years or less. And almost late means the door is nearly closed. The affordable price you see today may not exist in 18 months. Let us begin. Number 10. San Marcos. Sitting at the exact midpoint of I-35 between San Antonio and Austin, this city of about 70,000 people has been flying under the radar for years. Texas State University anchors the economy, but what is changing San Marcos is geography. When both metros on either side of you are getting more expensive, the middle gets discovered. The average home value here is around $280,000, according to Zillow data from early 2026. 3 years ago, that number was closer to $230,000. That is a 22% jump. Student rental demand keeps pushing prices higher, and with I-35 expansion projects improving commute times to both Austin and San Antonio, the pressure is only increasing. San Marcos is still one of the most affordable college towns in Central Texas, but for how long depends entirely on how fast the I-35 corridor fills in. Classification: Monitor. Number 9. Denton. About 40 miles north of Dallas, Denton is home to two universities, the University of North Texas and Texas Woman's University, and a population nearing 155,000. It has been called the last affordable city in DFW, and that phrase alone should tell you what is coming. The median home price is hovering around $310,000. 5 years ago, it was in the low 200s. That is a 40% increase. Young professionals and remote workers priced out of Frisco and McKinney are moving north along I-35 East. New apartment complexes are rising faster than the city can update its infrastructure. Denton still has that small-town feel, with a walkable downtown square and a live music scene. But the same qualities that make it charming are the ones making it a target. Classification: Monitor. Number 8. League City. On the south side of the Houston Metro, about 30 minutes from downtown, League City sits near NASA's Johnson Space Center and the Clear Lake area. Population is around 115,000 and growing. League City was ranked in the top 10 nationally for the combination of growth and affordability. The median home here is approximately $340,000, up from around $275,000 5 years ago, a 24% increase. What is pushing it is aerospace jobs, proximity to the Port of Houston, and a school district that consistently ranks among the best in the Houston area. Families are flooding in. New subdivisions are filling before construction finishes. League City is still 20% cheaper than the Houston metro average for comparable homes, but that gap is shrinking every quarter. Classification: Attention. Number 7. Conroe. North of Houston along I-45, Conroe was ranked the number 1 fastest growing suburb in the Houston metro area by the 2025 U-Haul Growth Index and number 20 nationally. The population has surged past 110,000, up more than 38% since the 2020 census. The median home price sits around $326,000. That sounds reasonable, until you realize it was under $220,000 just 5 years ago. That is a nearly 50% increase. What used to be a small country town, local residents will tell you that, is now absorbing the spillover from the Woodlands, which itself absorbed the spillover from Houston proper. Healthcare, logistics, and energy sector jobs keep feeding the pipeline. And with property tax burdens in Conroe ranking 16th highest in the country as a percentage of household income, according to Smart Asset, the cost of staying is climbing alongside the cost of arriving. Classification: Attention. Number 6. Kyle and Buda. These twin cities straddle I-35 south of Austin, with a combined population approaching 85,000. A decade ago, they were rural. Today, they are ground zero for Austin's southward expansion. The median home value in Kyle Buda sits around $352,000, down slightly from a peak above $380,000, but still dramatically higher than the $220,000 range of 5 years ago. That is a 60% increase in half a decade. Kyle, in particular, has added master-planned communities at a pace that has strained every piece of infrastructure: roads, water, schools. Buda is smaller, but following the same trajectory. If Austin continues pushing people south, and there is no reason to believe it will stop, these cities are on a collision course with $400,000 medians within 2 to 3 years. Classification: Attention. Now, those first 5 cities are changing, but the speed is still manageable. You have time. The next 5 are different. In these cities, the data shows the window is already tightening, and 2 of them are moving so fast that the price you see today may not exist in 18 months. If this kind of data helps you make decisions, subscribe. We do not sell real estate. We show what the numbers say. Let us continue. Number 5. Fort Worth. Yes, a city of nearly 1 million people. And yes, still on this list. Fort Worth's median home price is around $340,000, making it one of the most affordable major cities in America. But here's the shift. While much of the DFW metro saw prices flatten or decline slightly in 2025, Fort Worth posted a 1.5% increase year over year in February 2026, according to Redfin. That is modest. But Fort Worth is not a suburb that can be replicated. It is the 12th largest city in the United States, with massive corporate relocations flowing in, a booming cultural district, and a population that is growing faster than Dallas proper. When mortgage rates drop, and projections suggest they will move into the upper fives by late 2026, the buyer pool competing for Fort Worth homes is going to expand significantly. The window here is not about price spikes. It is about a floor that keeps rising while the rest of the country catches on. Classification. Attention. Number 4. McKinney. Northeast of Dallas, McKinney has a population pushing 200,000 and a 5-year growth rate of nearly 16%. The median home value is approximately $516,000, according to Zillow. That is down slightly from a peak near $550,000, but still dramatically higher than the $330,000 median of just 5 years ago. That is a 56% increase. Craig Ranch, one of the most prominent master-planned communities in Texas, has pushed McKinney into premium territory. New rental developments are closing 15 to 20% above initial projections. The North Texas economy added 127,000 jobs in 2025, according to the Dallas Regional Chamber, and McKinney is absorbing a disproportionate share of the professionals those jobs attract. When I saw the pace of price change here, I verified it twice. Classification: urgent. Number 3. Pflugerville. East of Austin, about 15 minutes from the Domain District and 20 from downtown, Pflugerville was the quiet suburb where Austin workers bought their first house because they could not afford anything closer. The median home value is around $371,000. In 2020, it was in the mid-200s. That is a jump of nearly 50% in 6 years. The Tesla Gigafactory in southeast Travis County accelerated everything. Pflugerville's 2025 full-year median was $402,000, and the 2026 year-to-date has pulled back to $390,000, which analysts say reflects a market finding its floor, not a crash. 6.7 months of supply puts it in buyer's market territory, which means right now is the most leverage a buyer will have here before rates drop and demand surges again. But none of these cities come close to what is waiting at number 1. 5 years ago, it was one of the fastest growing small cities in America. Today, it is not small anymore, and the prices are climbing faster than the infrastructure can keep up. We will get there. Classification for Pflugerville: urgent. Number 2. New Braunfels. Sitting on I-35 between San Antonio and Austin, New Braunfels has undergone one of the most dramatic transformations of any city in Texas. Population in 2010, 57,000. Population today, approaching 129,000. That is a growth rate of more than 5% per year, sustained for over a decade. The median home value is around $345,000. The National Association of Realtors named the San Antonio-New Braunfels Metro a top 10 housing hotspot for 2025. Migration data shows people arriving from New York, Los Angeles, Dallas, and Salt Lake City. New Braunfels used to be the hill country town with the Guadalupe River and Schlitterbahn. That identity still exists, but it is being layered over with subdivisions, strip malls, and traffic that did not exist 5 years ago. Housing is still about a third cheaper than comparable properties in Austin, but the gap is narrowing every single quarter. Growth is good for property values. It is not always good for the people who are already there, and the people who are already there can feel it. If current trends hold, New Braunfels reaches the statewide median home price within 2 to 3 years. Classification: urgent. Number 1. Frisco. And it is not even close. In 2010, Frisco had a population of about 116,000. Today, it is over 200,000, a 71% increase in a decade and a half. The city was ranked the number 1 fastest growing city in the entire United States over the past decade. The median household income is $146,000, nearly double the national figure, and the median home value is $674,000, according to Zillow, almost exactly double the Dallas-Fort Worth metro average. This is a city that was farmland within living memory. Now it is home to the Dallas Cowboys headquarters, the PGA of America's national office, a $5 billion mixed-use development called Fields, and one of the highest-rated school districts in the state. Corporate relocations have turned Frisco into a white-collar magnet. The jobs are not just coming, they are already here. And every new headquarters that opens adds another wave of buyers competing for the same housing stock. Here's the twist. Frisco's prices actually dipped in 2025, down between 4 and 8% depending on the data source. Redfin shows a median sale of $625,000 in January 2026. Homes are sitting on the market longer. Inventory is up. On the surface, that looks like a correction. And it is. But the fundamentals underneath have not changed. The population is still growing. The jobs are still arriving. The schools are still elite. What analysts are saying is that this dip is a window, a brief pause before the next leg up, especially as mortgage rates are projected to fall below 6% later this year. For anyone thinking about Frisco at current prices, the math is straightforward. A 5% rate drop with the buyer pool that is sitting on the sidelines means competition returns. And when competition returns to a market with $600,000 medians and limited land left to build on, prices go one direction. If you are looking at Frisco today and thinking it is too expensive, consider this. 5 years from now, someone will look at today's prices the same way we look at the $380,000 Frisco of 2019. And they will wish they had moved faster. Classification: almost late. 10 cities, all still within reach today. None of them guaranteed to stay that way. Texas is still one of the most affordable states in America, but the advantage is shrinking, and it is shrinking faster in some places than others. If you are planning a move, the data says that waiting can cost you, not in some abstract future, but in real dollars, measured in tens of thousands.